Hi guys. How is everybody? Story time. Kujen tuchape story. I have a very interesting story, yet scary. Huh? My God. God has really fought for us. When you see some of us, where we have been through, what we have been through, but one good thing about God, He has never let any of those define who we are. He has always maintained His love to us, and we thank God. We thank God. I might have to to keep my car running because it's too hot. Share this if you come along it. Share it, please. I want to give you a story. My personal story. Now I had to take one of my bosses to the police station because she couldn't pay me, and she even had the audacity to ask me, what am I gonna do? What are you gonna do? I'm not gonna pay you. What are you gonna do? After all, you're just a house girl. And I was like, oh yeah, I know I'm a house girl because I'm the one who applied for this job. But being a house girl doesn't mean you deny me my rights, especially if you think you cannot pay me after using me as a house girl. I had to take her to the police post. I took her to the police station, and I believe that was the first time I ever had to report someone to the police and actually physically appear with them to go and talk about it. And maybe it's the last time, because I don't think I would. Okay, I had all the valid reasons as to why I took them to the police station, because I told her I'm quitting the job because I have found a better job to become independent, and it was my dream. I wasn't working like a house girl as a house girl because that was my destiny. I really knew that wasn't my destiny, and I knew what I want to become, and I knew it was a stepping stone. So when I told her politely that I am gonna quit working at the end of the month so that I can go and venture into other things, her own daughter was in college. I was working for her as a house girl. At least, even though she needed a house girl, it is also good to be considerate because your own daughter is in college. I would love to be in college as well, but there was no way I could go to college. That's why I was working, but that doesn't mean I would never ever go to college. So when I told her that I'm gonna be quitting to work the end of that month, she was at work. But let me tell you, Maina, hey, ushaitusiwa na mwanamke wa guild. Guy, mi nilitusiwa. Hakuna tusi ya hii dunia si kuitwa. Nikiitwa nilikuwa mpaka naitwa bure. Mi ni mtu bure. Sijui wapi. By the way, ebu mi naweza mtag. Ningekuwa najua social media zake, ningemtagi nimuulize hapa ni wapi. Nimuulize boss yangu ulisema mimi ni useless. Mimi hapa niko nakaa useless. Hello Eunice, how are you? So I gave her a notice that I won't be able to go on next month with work. My friend, she told me, you know, like right today, ata umechelewa, you are very late. You could have quit yesterday so that today you can just go. That lady called me every useless name in the world. She spewed a lot of words, like 1,000 of them per minute. And when she came home, because I was cooking, She came, she took shower, and then she continued talking to me like nothing. I was just a nobody to her by then. And then she started saying, you know what? It's not like you're that important in this house. Even though you go, the work will still continue. We're gonna find another house girl and the work will still continue. And I was like, I don't want to say anything because I am in danger. I'm gonna spend the night here because I'm not gonna leave tonight as she is asking. I'll spend the night here. I'm gonna go in the day. Where? She told me, you know what? You don't even have to sleep here. You can leave as soon as now. And I'm gonna tell you, take my word. She told me, take my word. I'm not gonna pay you a single dime. Do what you want. Hey? On top of calling me every other word, you want to end up with my salary of 1,800 shillings that I've been working very hard, a salary that you have been making me to wash blankets every single day, every single morning. I would wash 2 traditional blankets. Unajua zile blankets za kitabo, zile unakumudha, they don't even seem to be men. And then you tell me you ain't gonna pay me for that. I'm gonna leave your house without my salary because there is no way I can take you. I said okay. And I asked her at some point, because she called me like 1,000 words. Useless. I don't even think you do the work correctly. I can find someone better than you. You know, women talk with emotions. And so are men sometimes. But mostly women are designed with a lot of emotions. So she forgot all the good praises she had been giving me about how I clean good and stuff. And then it became, all of a sudden, I wasn't the best. And she can look for the best. And on top of it, she won't pay me. And I was like, are you sure you won't pay me? And she was like, very sure. Take my word. There is no way you can take me, wa boy. She was calling me my Kikuyu name. Wamboi, there is no way you can take me. And I was like, all right, okay. She called me so many things and she named me a lot that I'm not. And I asked her at some point, Mama Fulani, I thought you are a women guild. You do not curse. And then she was like, so what? So what? Guy, neka idevo ile ndo guy. Mimi nilitusiwa na huyo mwanamke wa guild. Alinitusi kila neno yenye inakuanga kwa hii dunia. Nikaitwa bure, nikaitwa useless, nikaambiwa hata hakuna mahali nitaenda nikae, sijui nini. Guy, mpaka my mind clogged. Unajua sasa huyu ni kama elder wangu. She's my boss. There is no way I'm gonna talk back. And again, I wanna be safe in this house because I'm gonna sleep here. I decided I'm gonna sleep here. Even if you tell me to leave, I ain't gonna leave at night because I don't know what you can do. So, mi nikaenda kwa bedroom yangu. I went to my bedroom and I sat on my bed. I didn't shed a single drop of tear. I don't know where I had gotten the braveness, but I never shed any single tear because of all those names she called me. And I said, I'm gonna sleep here. All I'm gonna do, I'm gonna lock. I know she can unlock from outside, but if she wants to kill me, she can as well go ahead and kill me. So me, I went and I slept, and the following morning was a Sunday, because by when I was telling her I'm gonna leave by the end of the month, it was Saturday evening. She was still at work, and I told her live video, I have found something better. Well, the following morning, I didn't even take tea. She didn't even let me cook. She told me, Waboi, you're sleeping as if this is your house. Get up and leave. And I told her, I'm not gonna leave without my money. And she was like, I told you I'm not gonna pay you a dime, okay? Just leave. I asked her, Mama Fulani, are you sure you won't pay me? I had a phone, a small phone. I think it was a Motorola or something. Are you sure you are not gonna pay me? And she said, yes, you heard me well. I'm speaking Gikuyu. Can't you hear me? I'm not gonna pay you. And I said, okay. I took my backpack. throughout my house girl shenanigans, I only owned my wardrobe could fit in one backpack. So wherever I went, I could only have one backpack, like a small backpack. So I took my backpack and I left. I only had one shoe. I had 2 pants that I owned, and maybe one extra for like day-to-day, daily basis. Or maybe a total of 5. I used to wear pants a lot. I didn't even have any dresses. Sikuwa na figure ya dresses, sikuwa na matiti kubwa, sikuwa na anything yenye gishikilia dress, na maybe dresses zilikuwa expensive. Mi nikatoka. Kufika hapo kwa gate nikakumbuka kuna chali mwenye alikuwa ananikatianga na sikuanga namtaka. Guys, sasa hapa wanaume mtanichapa cause this is us. This is just how we are. So mi nikampigia simu nikamwambia, by the way nani, mimi nimetoka kwenye nilikuwa nafanya na mi sikuwa nataka kudate by then. Mi nimetoka kwenye nilikuwa nafanya na sijapewa hata dururu na wameniambia hata hawatanilipa. Akakuja hapo tukameet. Nilikuwa nimemtext, akakuja tukameet. Man, God bless you cause mko na roho poa. Akakuja tukameet hapo kwa gate. Akaniuliza, sasa itakuaje? Kalikuwa kachalike baba, karefu, ka black, kalikuwa ka dark toned. Siwezi sema about handsome juu by then sisi hatukuwa tunaelewa anything about handsome. By the way, handsome ni nyinyi mmekuja nayo juzi, watoto wa Weetabix. So mimi akaniambia, sasa itakuaje? Utaenda tu hivyo bila your money? Nikamwambia ni kama juu nitafanya nini, amesema hata nilipa. Tukakaa hapo tukaangaliana, nikamuuliza, by the way naweza mpeleka polisi? Akaniambia hata ndio nilikuwa nafikiria. Uwezi nyang'anywa na mtu pesa yako na ni pesa umefanyia kazi. Twende nikupeleke Juja Police Station umushtaki. Ndio huyo mimi nimewekwa joto. Tukaenda. We went to Juja Police Station and I recorded a statement. Mimi kama house girl, boss wangu amenifukuza juu nimemwambia nitaquit job at the end of the month, na amesema hata nilipa hata nikifanya nini, na akaniambia hata kuna kitu mnaweza mfanyia hata nikikuja hapa. Hiyo ilikuwa kuongezea. You have to be creative. Mimi nikaenda nikaandikisha statement. Nilipata a very good police, even though alinitisha kitu at the end. It is better cause alisave pesa yangu. Nilikuwa nimeajiriwa. I had been employed for 1,800 shillings only, and for a family of 7 people, me making them 8. Okay. I went there and I recorded a statement. Nikapewa, I was given an abstract. Is it abstract? What is it called? Niandikieni hapa. I was given a certain paper to summoning her to the police station. Mimi, I went back like the Wamboi I am. I went and I unlocked the gate because it used to be locked by the kashohe. Me, I don't know what it is called. A certain lock that you could put your hand. OB, yes, OB, thank you. I put a hand and opened the gate. The gate of a person who just fired you. And you are entering the gate to go give the person a police order. Hey, nikaenda. I went in and I went ka. Knocked the door, and then they opened. Whoever opened the door was the husband, yeah? And I handed him over the letter, the summoning letter. And I went right away because they could do me anything, but I had to deliver it because that is what I had been instructed to do. I went and handed over, and then I went and waited at Juja Police Station. Of course, they gonna read it. And then after like 2 hours, they came, the husband and wife. It was a Saturday morning. They would go to church. After all, the wife doesn't even need to go anywhere near church. The type of abuse she spewed on me. She's not supposed to attend church. She's supposed to sit at home and repent. So I went and waited, and then they came driving. They had a car. They were well-up people. They had a car and they used to manage or maybe operate a canteen at JKUAT University, the main campus. So they had a lot of money and they had rentals. They had, their house was being renovated at the time. And I could tell they had money because I could see it. They had a car, a good car, and they had it all together. They came. The first thing the husband did when he stepped out of that car was like, wow, boy, what do I have for thee? And I was like, yes, sir. So bold. I was so bold. Like, you cannot run away with my 1800 shillings. How? Do you know how much a house girl has to do to get that 1800 shillings at the end of the month? And then you tell her you ain't gonna pay her? Really? No, it ain't gonna happen to me. And they walked in with the wife. The wife was looking like Mandazi. She was looking like she had just swallowed a whole packet of baking powder. She was so mad at me. She couldn't believe I can pull up such on her. But she had dared me. She asked me, what am I gonna do to her? After all, I'm just a house girl. And I know I'm a house girl. I was okay with it as long as it lasted. So they came in. They went and met with that was I don't know if he was the boss of the police or who, but I could tell he was someone major, someone superior. So they sat there, and then the police asked them. He asked my boss, the man, the guy, what would make you not to pay this girl her money, yet she worked for you a whole month? And the guy said, actually, we didn't say we wouldn't pay her. And I rudely interrupted. It is the wife, not him. He wasn't even there. The wife was given a chance to talk, and she was kind of like, the way she was mad at me. And she said, the reason as to why I said I'm not gonna pay her is because she said she's gonna quit. You're supposed to give a 3-month notice, blah blah blah. I was like, how? Wow, 3-month notice. I wasn't in a position to give a 3-month notice, but I kindly told you, informed you ahead of time, but you made me to quit with immediate effect because you were mad. And on top, you said you won't pay me anything. And that is the reason why we are here. It is not about the 3 months. It is about you holding my payment because I'm just a house girl. That is what you told me. And on top, you are very abusive. Like, you called me each and every word on this earth. And if there was anything bad than me not giving you the 3-month notice, I would demand you to pay me for the so many names you called me last night. The guy, the husband, looked at me, he looked at the wife, and then he told the wife, Nina wa maitha. Mama Fulani, please use the money that I gave you last night to go bank to pay her 2,000. Pay her 2,000. Okay. Mama Wamaitha on the other side, she said, I don't think she's supposed to be paid right now and now. And the guy was like, Mama Wamaitha, please pay her her money. We are not even supposed to be here. Oh my God. So, Mama Wamaitha had the money in the purse. Kifeti, I'm sweating because it is too hot here and I think my car is not blowing enough. Mama Wamaitha went back to her purse and she handed me 2,000. So the police boss witnessed me being given the 2,000. So the police boss demanded some chai after they left, because they left right after. Hey, I have never felt like a president like that day. Like I managed to sue them and they paid me right there and there. Within 2 hours I was paid. But she had said she would never pay me. So I gave the police boss 200. I cannot even remember his name. And even if I did, I cannot just name his name because it's not wise. He helped me and it was good to give him a chai. It is not rightfully, constitutionally, right, like to offer or for him to demand it. But he did something good. He did to me something good. And that was the end of me working as a house girl. That was the 4th house. The first house was South B. The second house was Githurai. The South B house was a perfect house. The boss was so good to me. I worked 4 houses to 4 bosses as a house girl before I stopped or I quit being a house girl. Wabo, you say, yes, I did. I worked for 4 bosses as a house girl. South B was the first one. Huko, they were very good bosses. It is my stupidity that made me to quit that job or to be fired. I was fired, by the way. The second job was at Githurai. That lady was poor, but she was struggling to. She had just gotten a baby, and the only thing that made me to leave her job is because she could count how many chapo I am making before I cook them so that I don't eat. That is very mean. Very mean. Higher. The third one, I was hired by a thief, a thug, a carjacker. So I left there because I was told to by the police, and also I felt it wasn't safe for me. The fourth job is these Juja people that were very, very rich, but they were very mean. In this house, we could only eat a quarter meat, a quarter beef against 8 people. Quarter adonana. I don't even know if they were getting, some of them were getting anything, because mine, when I fried them, I could take out my pieces. There is no way I'm going to compete with 8 people against a quarter meat, and I'm the one cooking. So we could use 3 liters of milk for 2 days. That is 1.5 liter per day. I used to get my pure glass of milk before I even cook tea, and then I'll add water to level it to the right amount. It is called wisdom. You have to be wise in Nairobi or you will die of hunger. Back then, being a house girl was taken as an unfortunate situation. Like being a house girl, you could be seen as nobody in the house. You are the single one out, the black sheep, the nobody, the nothing. You see? So the fourth job made me to say enough is enough. That lady would give me blankets to wash, to hand wash blankets. Every single morning I would hand wash blankets. And mop a house of 5 bedroom, a kitchen, a store, the veranda round, and the living area every single morning. Do their laundry. The husband, the wife, and the baby. The 2 big kids were in college. I would cook everything else that a house girl does. But the only thing that made me to feel they are mean is that we were not supposed to eat an egg unless on a Saturday morning. It is the only day we could eat eggs. And simply because I was spending the days at home alone, I came up with a strategy. I can decide if the hen did lay an egg today or not. If it didn't, I ate it. The egg is missing because the chicken did not lay any egg. So this job was my last one. I tried working as a house girl, but I think for some reason when God created you, there was a purpose. He put a purpose in you, and also he had the life that he designated for you. And you cannot be anything else unless what God has designated you to become. In the record of God, when he was creating me, or even before he put me in my mother's womb, he didn't say anywhere I'm gonna become a house girl. Everywhere I went to become a house girl, he made sure he shook every foundation in that house, and he would make me so much uncomfortable such that I had to quit. I cannot tell you I stayed a year in any of the house girl jobs that I did in Nairobi. I did not belong there, and God made it sure that he will make my life look like how he wanted it to be and not how I thought I can design it. Sometimes in our lives, when you see so many things not working and they are similar to each other, just know you are in the wrong field. Just know that you are not aligned with the will of God. That is why the foundations are not supporting you. If the foundations are fighting you, you cannot fight with the foundation, because you are the one who came. The foundation was there even before you came. So the foundation shakes because you do not belong there. Go elsewhere. When Jonah entered the ship or the boat to wherever he was going, and he did not belong there, the boat started shaking and they were about to lose lives until Jonah was thrown outside. That is when the foundation, which is the boat, stopped swaying, stopped hitting the waves, and stabilized. Me being a house girl wasn't anywhere in the book of God, but I wanted to become a house girl in Nairobi so that I can survive and at least get to become independent. So I quit working here. When I took my boss to police, I was like, you know what, this has gone too far. This is gonna be my last job, and I'm gonna now be independent. I will fight with life in this Nairobi, being me against the Nairobi. I went to do the job that I had been promised, because the reason as to why I told my boss I'm quitting is because my friend had a restaurant job, and I had an opportunity to now become stable with my thinking. I went to the job, and I was hired. The job was between Village Market and UN, the United Nations. It wasn't a posh area or a posh restaurant, but it was good because I would work from 7 a.m. to 3:30 or 3 p.m. because the hotel or the restaurant was only serving the UN people, and they only worked up to 4. So we would only serve them lunch, and then that was it. I started working, and I think I weighed less than 50 kgs. The pots that were cooking the pilaus and everything were this size, the big ones, the Harambee pots. And for me to be able to scrub them inside, I would almost fit inside so that I can scrub from inside because they were too big. But did I care? I didn't care. I went and I stayed with my friends in a mabati, in a what do we call them in English? It was a mabati built apartment ghetto. It was a ghetto in Banana around Mushadha school. The primary school of Mushadha was opposite us. There was some ghettos that were made of mabati. That is a single room, a very tiny room that would fit a bed and maybe somewhere to just put some few pots. We only had 2 pots. We would pay 600 shillings, and we would divide among 3 people, and then one of our girls left and found another good job, so we were left, me and Joanne. We would split the rent, that is 300 each, and me working at the restaurant, I would get 150 each day, Monday through Friday. So at the end of the week, I would at least have gotten 600 shillings. So each week was 600 shillings, which was better than being a house girl who is not even respected. At least working in a restaurant, nobody knows you. They are coming there to eat and live, and sometimes they would even tip you because they appreciate what you're doing. And the boss was very good. Very good. Very good. Yes, very good. Iron sheet apartments. Yes, thank you so much because of coming up with that word. Sometimes English is not my thing. So I stayed there and worked there, and that is where my hustle began. My real hustle began in Nairobi, in Banana, where I realized what is paying rent, what does paying rent look like. I was 19 years old by then. 19? Yes, 20. I was like 20 years old. 20 Asha, 19 years old. I was able to know what it takes to pay a rent, to feed yourself, not to eating at your boss's houses, and to clothe yourself, pay fare to go to work and back. That is how my hustle started in Nairobi, and I never went back to being a house girl. I started working. After I stopped working at the restaurant, I went to work at Village Market as a butter shoe marketer, promoter. I was getting paid 3,000 Kenya shillings. Guy, I almost looked for a bodyguard to take me home the first day. I was paid 3,000 Kenya shillings as a butter promoter at Village Market. Guy, to me it was a big surprise, and I really thanked God for giving me an opportunity to earn 3,000 Kenya shillings. Me as Wamboi, coming from being a house girl and now owning 3,000 Kenya. It is not a joke. It is not. So at the Village Market, I had a very good manager. He was Kamba. Very, very nice. Very good. Very good. So after that, I was hired. Promotion jobs don't last. They go like a month or 3 months and then they stop. After that, the girl who left the banana house, Mabati house, the iron sheet house, she went and found me a cashier's job. Huh? Guy, waboinia promoter. I have just been promoted now. My God is from one level to the other. My friend, I didn't know the challenge that was awaiting me. I just saw the promotion, but I didn't know every promotion comes with a challenge. Now I'm gonna be a cashier at a supermarket. And she had gotten this job through her brother. He was called Sammy, a very humble guy. And I became a cashier at a supermarket in Zimmerman. It used to be called Gatare Supermarket, Zimmerman. It was a brother to another big supermarket that was at base, Zimmerman base, opposite Milema. It was a very big supermarket. It was the only big supermarket there. So I was hired, but I was to be paid 4,000 Kenya shillings. To me, at first, 4,000 Kenya shillings, it sounded like millions. Because you see, I was getting 3,000. Now I have been leveled up to 4,000 Kenya shillings. My God, my God. Oh, I joined Eva, who now left the other house, and now she found me this cashier's job. By then she was working in Nakumat supermarket. Nakumat. If you ever worked in Nakumat, wewe ni guru. Wewe, you are a cartel. Not a cartel. You are legend. When he legend. To work in Nakumat used to be a miracle. You had to know someone who knows someone. So we went and rented a house in Githurai 44. And one thing that comes in my mind whenever I remember that house, behind the house, because we used to live on the first floor, there used to be a lot of domas, not the real domas, but a lot of swamps, and we had a lot of mosquitoes in our house, a lot of them, a lot like this, because behind our house it was a swamp, and right before you entered our gate there was a big sewage running down, and as soon as you enter our plot there was a very big like a four single toilets, and those toilets sometimes they would produce some visitors, some guests. You know what I mean? They are white in color and they are worms. So that is the type of plot I used to live in Nairobi, Githurai 44. And I was working as a cashier. Guy, God can take you through so much. I don't think there is anything I haven't seen. Of course there is, because I haven't seen everything. Each person is given their share, which they can deal with. So, and in that plot, we only had water like twice a week. So we could only wash clothes certain days. And the house was 1,800 Kenya shillings per month. It is a single room. Me and Eva would split 900 each. We had to do a shopping of at least 1,000 a month. So I'm now left with 2,000. From Gatara supermarket to where I lived, because we could close the supermarket at 9, so I would be going home around 9:30, and you know the distance in between, it's not very safe. I had to opt sometimes to walk. I would walk, because you are working in a supermarket, you need, each day you need a new cloth. I mean, like you need to change, not like new. You need to change. So I also had to make sure I have several clothes. Remember, I only had one backpack, small backpack, throughout my entire working as a house girl. I didn't have more than 5 clothes. So I had to shop. And at the Bara shoe job, we used to wear uniforms, so I didn't have any problem. I only had one black pants, and we would be given some t-shirts because you are marketing a company. So I only had 2,000 to use as fare and to buy some groceries, because there is no way you can do shopping for grocery for a whole month unless you have a refrigerator, of which we didn't have. So we needed to have at least some money to take us throughout the month. Let me tell you Maina, at the end of the month, before you even get to the end of the month, you have nothing. You have nothing left. I had thought I have upgraded and my life is becoming better, but I didn't know I have to face more. I had to face more bigger giants than I used to. At the supermarket, the only job that I have worked as an employee successfully was America. I was never fired. I have never been fired in America. I think I didn't belong in Kenya, but I didn't know. I wasn't paying attention to what God was telling me. At the Katara supermarket, I was fired again. You heard me. I was fired. I was fired. I was fired because I told I was a cashier. I could see how much money we are making. I could see we are making, at the end of the day, we have more than 200,000 we have made sales. And that means you are very busy throughout the day. And I demanded for a raise, for a pay raise. In Kenya, the worst thing you would do to threaten your job is to ask for a raise. It has never been taken like a light thing. It is like you are threatening the boss, yet you are just asking genuinely. I was fired. One day, one afternoon, the boss came. They had a meeting with the supervisor and he said he gonna add 200 Kenya shillings on top. And when we were informed, I said, I don't think 200 shillings makes a big difference because we are suffering. We are walking at night and it is far. Because we don't have even bus fare. The money is gone even before the second week of the month. Where those words took my career again. I was fired. After a day I was fired, and thank God they fired me. Today when I look back, I thank God for everyone who fired me. Even those who fired me in their lives. I thank God. I thank God. I will never be fired somewhere, and I want you to take it positively. Whenever you will ever find foundation of somewhere shaking, don't force yourself to stay there. There is a message God is giving you, but you are not paying attention. And if you look back, He has been signaling you, but you are very busy trying to force issues. I was fired. I went home without a job, without nothing. Eva, my roommate, was still working. I don't have a job and I started tamarking again. Eva suggested we go live in Kangemi. I didn't have a choice. I don't have a job. Eva has a job. She's now the boss in the house. I don't have nothing to say. Eva was a good person, by the way. And we moved from that house to Kangemi, a cheaper house. We went back to a mabati house. And one common thing about a mabati house, without the interior being improved, like putting some cardboards and stuff, is that during cold season, the house is very cold, and during hot season, the house is like an oven. It gives me the memories of Mushadha, Banana, the ghetto, where we used to live in a mabati house. And when it was your off day, because I couldn't work Saturday, the hotel was not open, we would stay at home, and you would even try to go to village market to just take some routes there without know where you are going, just to be somewhere cold. The house used to be very hot, especially during the hot month of the year, January, February, and February is a little bit better. January was very hot and the house was boiling. At night we used to cover ourselves with clothes. The few clothes we used to own, We would put them in bed so that they add some warmth on top of our Seagull blanket that we owned. I have come from very far, but I know there are people who have come from even farther than me. I respect that, because each of us has a story. So when Eva took me to a Mabati house so that we can downsize or cut the cost because I'm not working, it gave me the memories of Muchadha. But I was fine because at least I have a roof over my head. And I remember opposite our house, there used to be a Nakuru guy. He used to katia me. Back then, I think I was miji. I used to be katiad. Maybe I still do. I used to be katiad by men, but I think I had so many problems. I didn't want to date. I didn't want to date. I had a lot of problems. So I was thinking about my life, and they are thinking about a wife. You see, I'm thinking about my life. They are thinking about a wife. I wasn't ready. But this guy, the only thing I was entertaining him, or I would go and talk with him, we used to talk outside his house. It's because I would he used to love gospel music. He used to love gospel music, and I love gospel music. From the word go, I used to love music, and I do up to date. So he would put some music and we would be talking outside his house. And I would spend days in the house, in the hot house, all by myself, because Eva went working. I started tamaking again, looking for a job. And I got a job with Propac Kenya, Propac and Tissue Kenya along Ruaraka, Babadogo Road, Nairobi. That job was paying me 6,900. Mwathani no aroka. My God is still coming. So I thought, wow, I think now I will stabilize. Every single level you gonna enter into, it comes with new challenges. I thought 6,900 sounded better than any other salary that I had gotten before. I was totally wrong. I was living in Kagemi, and I started as a promoter, and then they hired me. I would wake up very early because Kagemi, the matatus, the bus fare for Kagemi, you either have to rise up very early because after 7 you will pay a lot of money, which I didn't even have. I didn't even have the fare to start working because I was fired the other job, and I stayed a lot of days without working. But either way, I had to make it or make it. I would wake up very early at 6. I would be at the bus stop to at least get a fare that I can afford, 20 Kenya shillings or 30 Kenya shillings to Odeon Cinema. That was the stage. And then I will get into Moiru's church. Hey, I'm a legend. So get to Moiru's church, get in the service, worship. And you know, when you have problems, you worship genuinely. You worship with one heart. I would get there, hallelujah, and then it was the opposite. Going back to Babadogo, it was off peak, but coming up, it would be the peak time. So it was an advantage. Around 7 or around 7:30, I will board a matatu to Babadogo, the office and the company and the factory of Mr. Smith Patel. Propac Kenya, which dealt with crackers, that is potato chips, and Tissue Kenya. They had a very nice tissue, and they had the best crackers, but they had the worst payments to their workers. You are supposed to go visit like 7 shops a day or 10 shops a day, and they are in different directions, and you are supposed to only receive 600 shillings for the entire route of your week, Monday through Saturday. 600 to take you from Mr. Schmidt's office to Nairobi, then from Nairobi to Gong, from Gong to Karen, from Karen to Lang'ata, from Lang'ata to everywhere, the whole entire week. 600 Kenya shillings. They were not enough. I still had to do something. I moved from Kangemi to Dandora. How did I move? I only owned a bed, a big bed. I only owned a bed and a mattress, a good mattress. I had bought them from a second-hand store in Banana Mushadha, and I had few utensils. And a sufuria maybe. And I told Eva, I have to move because this thing is not working for me. This the fare is up high there. I have to go stay somewhere in order for my time to come and blah blah blah. And simply because you suggested we move here because it is closer to your job and it is very far to my job, I think I have to move to Dandora, which is close to Babadogo, and I can use just $20 to work. And I moved. I hired I did not hire. I used a bus, a common bus, and I told them, come pick up my bed and my whatever, take them to the next stage, and then I'll use a kokoteni to the other stage. And that is how I moved my entire house to Dandora. I went and rented a house in Dandora, 1,500, and 20 bob was my fare and 20 bob back. It was 40 in total. And I stayed with that job, but I was fired. I was fired. I never belonged to Kenya. I never belonged in Kenya, and I didn't know. I was fired, and that made my last job to be hired again. I quit being hired and I became self-employed. Why was I fired? Simply because I asked for a raise, and I told them the money you are giving us is not enough. I worked there like almost a year. I told them the money you are giving us for fare, it's not enough. We are adding up, digging into our pockets and paying for the fare the company is supposed to be paying. Mwadhani, nefafa joru. Bosses and people who have money, they don't like advices from people wanyonge. They don't like advices from people that don't have money. I don't know how that works together, but I was fired. One day I was coming to work, and at the gate I met the soldier, and he told me, I was instructed, you are not supposed to come in until they call you. I was like, huh? Okay. I sat there for like 2 hours, and then I was called, and I was fired without a reason. I wasn't given any reason. But previously, they had called us for a meeting, and in that meeting, we were told to write suggestions and put in a suggestion box. And I said, I would want us to have a raise on our salary because of this and that. I think they knew my writing, and because we used to write a lot of notes, I think that they came to realize it is me, and I was fired because I was a threat to the company, because I can tell we are not getting paid, and I was bold enough to say we are not getting paid enough, and we are using our money to cater for the company expenses, which is wrong. I was fired, and that was the end of me asking for any person a job in Kenya, and I decided to become self-employed. Gekomba, here we come. I became a Gekomba person. Gekomba, I would go get some clothes and hawk them, and that is how I became, all the roots of being self-employed came in me. They became to be in me, and up to date I value self-employment and I value business, and if there is anything, I love business. And in America, I was hired by one company. I worked for them for 5 years. The other company, I worked for them for a year and a half, and then I moved to another state and I quit their work. But I was never fired in America. There has never been anything, any problem, me working in America or me finding jobs in America. And that is when I looked back and I said, God, it is true, you always talk to us, but we don't pay attention. If I could have paid attention to what you were saying, maybe you could even have brought me to America before that time that I came. My life never belonged in Kenya. but I didn't know. God was telling me, the signs were there. He was speaking to me. He could shake every foundation so that I move. Everywhere I go, move. I don't want you here, move. I even attempted to do a business in Nyeri, and even though the business seemed to be doing good, I got sick and had